All right, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you had a good bye week. And with that, I'll open it up for questions.
Well, what kind of challenge is it going against the number one ranked offense in the NFL?
It's a tremendous challenge for us. They got good players. Um, they run a good offense. So it's a good challenge for us defensively, but I look forward to it, and I think our players do too.
Andre, Jefferson has taken on a bigger role in the last few weeks here, and those pressure rates have gone up to the degree that they have. What kind of impact have you seen that have on quarterbacks just over the last few weeks here?
Um, I think it always does. I know we've had that conversation a couple weeks back when we were talking about sacks, you know, in comparison to pressure. And when you can affect the quarterback, you make a difference. And the last game we played against Carolina, we did a great job of making him feel us. And so it made some of his throws erratic. It made him go out on the run, and that's usually the equalizer. And that's a big key for us this week. We've got to make their quarterback feel our presence, and because if we don't, he'll kill us. He's a great quarterback. He knows where to go with the ball. He has a strong arm. He can make plays with his legs. He's got a great amount of receivers that can make plays. Their tight ends make plays. So the front has to do a great job of making him feel our presence to give us a chance when they throw the football.
How difficult of a challenge is that with how good? I mean, their entire offensive line's really good, but specifically those interior spots.
Um, I think we're good too. So I'm looking forward to the challenge. I don't look at it and say, hey, they got Pro Bowl players. We got Pro Bowl players too. And so it's a great challenge. We're going to go in there and fight. And, that's what we got to do to win the game. And the guys know that. So I look forward to the challenge, and I guarantee you my guys do too.
Assuming Collins is their right tackle, is it tough to know what he brings to the table with only one start in like a year and a half?
No, what was it, 19? Daniil played against him the whole game in 19. We got him on tape. We know what he's like. He's a really good player. And so they're able to go back and watch themselves rush against their two tackles from when we played him in 19. So we feel real comfortable about who he is as a player and what we have to do to attack him.
Andre, when you look at their balance, how much does it start with being good against their run so they can't be balanced?
Yeah, no, that's huge. They got two really good backs. Their offensive line does a really good job in blocking in the run game. So if we let them be a two-headed monster, it's going to be a long day for us. So we got to do a great job of stopping the run and limiting big runs and put them in passing downs. And then I know that sounds kind of weird when you got who they have playing quarterback, but you have to do that because if we don't, and they can run it whenever they want to and throw it whenever they want to, then that's going to be a long night for us on Sunday night.
Has Dak changed much since you guys played him in 19, coming off the injury last year? Is there anything different about him?
No, he looks like his normal self to me. I mean, you would never know he was hurt. He's still running with the ball. That's the thing I wanted to see is, will he take off and run and make those explosive plays with his legs and be able to throw the ball on the run? And you've seen him do that, through their first 6 games. He looks like his normal self to me. I don't see any difference in him as a player.
Going back to their offense, like they're very good on first down. It's probably cliche, but how important is it just to limit their big plays on first down because you guys have such a good third down defense?
Well, I mean, that's always our goal going into a game is that, we want to try to get them in 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10. That's what we're always trying to do. And, it's important that we can get some of those in this game. When you play a team like this, they're going to make some plays. That's what's going to happen. They're going to make some plays. The key is to not let those plays be explosive plays that flip the field or that become touchdowns. So when they do have success, you want to make them be long drives. You know what I mean? You don't want – they lead the league in time of possession. But the other thing that's strange about it, they don't have a lot of red zone plays because they're scoring from outside the red zone. See, so the key for us is to make sure that we don't give up explosive plays, explosive runs, explosive passes, make them earn everything that they're going to get. You're not going to shut this team down. They're too good. But what you got to do is make sure that you don't allow them to have any quick scores and that's the key.
I know the crowd noise obviously makes things a little bit harder on you guys, but how much are you kind of looking forward to what the atmosphere will be like this weekend after hosting Dallas last year, obviously with an empty stadium?
It's huge. You know, we need our fans. They do a great job for us on defense. They give us a competitive edge, especially the front. When it comes to rushing the passer, because the O-line gets off a little bit slower. So I'm hoping they're at their best and they're loud the whole game because they give us an advantage.
What has Dantzler shown you that, I mean, out of necessity, he's gonna have to play this weekend, but Zim said that there was something different where he's focused more on what he has to do on the field after the healthy scratch week 1. What has he shown you that he's capable of, being able to fill in for Pat Pete this week?
Well, he's more locked in. I mean, it's never been a talent issue for him. It's about being locked in and going out there and execute your job and what you're supposed to do. And he's done that the last couple weeks. And that's what he has to continue to do to play. And if as long as he keeps doing that, he's talented enough to go out there and play and be a really good player for us. And so hopefully he keeps that going.
Andre, do you have to have almost like two plans in place? One in case if Dak is actually his calf is hurt and he's stationary, and one if he's healthy?
No, because their offense stays the same. You know, like last year, Dak didn't play, but their offense was still the same. You know, what they do offensively was still the same. So, you're attacking the whole offense and what the offense does. You know, sometimes you play a team that when their starter's in there and their backup goes in, they totally change their offense. They're not doing that. Their offense still stays the same. So whether he plays or doesn't play, we still got to defend the same style of offense, the same plays.
Does that change your game plan at all much, that maybe he might be limited by, I know you mentioned his ability with his legs, but if he's not able to do the things that you've seen on film?
No, because you got to go into the game thinking he's going to be Dak, right? That's the key. You got to defend that he's going to be at his best. And if you get anything less than that, then you make an adjustment there. But you got to defend that he's going to be at his best and be the player that he is, and that's what we got to prepare for.
How do you feel just overall about how the defense is playing, or do you want to see kind of more consistency perhaps?
Well, I think we're getting better every week, and I want to continue to see that. I've said it a bunch of times. An NFL season is a marathon. It's not where you sit at week 6. It's later on in the season when you truly find out who you are, and it's all about getting better every single week and to keep improving and keep improving. And once you get around, week 11 and 12. Now you're starting to figure it out. You see where you are in the mix of everything, and that's why we spent a great deal of time during the bye week studying us and looking at the things that we do well, the things that we got to continue to improve and get better at. That's how you keep improving during the season. And I get it. The NFL's like when my grandma used to watch soap operas. They always do something to make you turn it back on at 11 o'clock the next day, right? Always, right? So what you guys do, you're doing the same thing for the NFL. Every week is the biggest game of the season, okay? Week 3, it's a must-win game, okay? All those things don't exist. You're playing 17 games, but I get it. I know why it's that way, but we got to keep the players' minds focused on the right thing. It's about today. It's about getting better today. It's about preparing to beat the Dallas Cowboys. Nothing matters after the Dallas Cowboys. You're not looking ahead of who we play the next week, the next week, the next week. It's your job to sell that. I get that. But as a player and a coach, it's all about this week, this practice that I'm going to go to here in about 45 minutes, right? You focus on this practice and what your guys got to do to get them better. And you put everything you got into the Dallas Cowboys. And then when that game's over, then you focus on the next guy. But you can't look ahead. You can't look ahead. If me and you were getting into a fight, I'm not looking at everybody in the room. I'm looking at you, right? I'm trying to knock your head off. You feel what I'm saying? So it's the same thing right now. That's what this is about. It's a fight every single Sunday. So you can't worry about who you're fighting next week. I'm fighting the Dallas Cowboys today, and that's where my focus is.
Well, in soap opera fashion, why should fans tune in on Sunday night? looks to be a pretty big game.
Because it's going to be a fight.
Okay.
That's why they should watch it. It's two good teams playing, right? And it's going to be a fight. That's why they should watch the game. It's two good teams. They're going to give everything they got to try to win that game. Okay? It's going to be entertaining. Two good teams fighting it, and that's why they should watch the game. And then whoever we play next week, it's going to be the same thing. Okay? But it's not about we got to win this game or the season's over. Or if we win this game, we're in the playoffs. No, it doesn't work that way. If we win this game, it's win number 4. That's all it is. Win number 4. That's it.
Bashad looked like he had a pretty good game against Carolina after kind of like an up and down first 6 for him. Can that sort of confidence carry over for him? And I guess when you did the self-scout at the bye week, where did you notice him either making improvements, taking steps ahead, things they needed to work on?
Excuse me, who?
Bashad Breeland.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. No, he did. He had a really good game that week. Again, you can see it coming in practice. I think he's just getting more and more comfortable with what we do. And yeah, you played someplace different, and what they've asked you to do is a little bit different than what we do here, technique-wise, scheme-wise. Sometimes it takes some time, but you could see him getting better week to week, and he had a really good game against Carolina, and hopefully it carries over this week.
Andre, when people talk about Xavier Woods, they always talk about his intelligence. Is that something that you've observed? How have you seen that show up with him?
No, I seen it early when he first got here. He's a great communicator and works very well with Harry back there. Getting guys lined up in the right place, recognizing splits and what kind of routes are coming versus coverages, and that's a hard skill, to be able to have. And so I think having him here has really helped us a lot because a lot of it in the past had just been put on Harry. And now you got another guy back there that's able to help him, alert the corners and the backers of what kind of adjustments we're making based on splits, based on formation. And he's very vocal. So he does a really good job back there.
Is that a prerequisite to play safety? You have to be able to kind of have that little extra intelligence?
You want it to be, but that doesn't mean you're always gonna have that guy, And sometimes, a guy could do great on the Wonderlic and be a great student, all right, and can sit in here when it's up on the board and spit it out to you. But then all of a sudden, when you line up and the bullets are flying for real, it just doesn't come out as fast. So, some guys just naturally have the ability to be able to do that, and he's one of those guys.
Andre, I know you don't study him, but what do you think of the streak that Diggs is on? Just Trevon Diggs.
It's pretty impressive to get that many interceptions this early in the season. He does a great job of going and get the ball. And you can tell he used to be a receiver. So when the ball's in the air, he looks like a receiver. He's not a DB trying to go up and knock the ball down or hoping that they catch it. When the ball's in the air, it's like he's still a receiver and the quarterback threw the ball to him. And I think that's the reasons why he's got so many interceptions.
Why don't we see more streaks like this or more stretches like this in the NFL with the ball in the air as much as it is? The interceptions seem to stay kind of where they are or go down.
The quarterbacks are so good. In this league, the quarterbacks are so good. They can put the ball in places that make it difficult for, the DB to be able to get their hands on it. I think that's the biggest reason why. And I think, too, the offensive coordinators do such a good job also of teaching the quarterbacks where to go with the ball. I heard a couple weeks ago, I can't remember what game it was on. They were saying, it was a Seattle game on Monday night. And the big receiver for the Seahawks, he catches the big bomb early in the game, right? Well, he didn't catch anything the rest of the first half. And the announcers kept saying, why don't they throw the ball to him? Why don't they throw the ball to him? Well, he's got 2 guys on him. So you want the quarterback to throw the ball into 2 guys and get it intercepted? He's not going to do that. So that's part of it, too, is the quarterbacks know where to go with the ball. They keep the ball out of harm's way. And so that makes a big difference.
With Weatherly gone to Denver, do you think this is an opportunity now with Patrick Jones? You think is he ready, you think, to get worked in a little bit, maybe get some of those
I got
snaps?
2 young guys. Pat is doing a good job. He's getting better every single day. And then Kenny Willikers is doing a great job. And so they're both going to get reps. and I'll see how it plays out on Sunday. So that's the good thing, is that there was 2 young players at that position that I felt very comfortable with, that I think since we've been working have improved and look good out there at practice and deserve an opportunity. So we'll see how it plays out the rest of the week.
One thing I've noticed just watching games is when there's a deep ball, and whether intentionally or unintentionally it's underthrown, just an easy pass interference with the receiver coming back to it. Is that, I mean, how tough is that for cornerbacks, and is there a kind of a coaching point to maybe avoid those situations?
Yeah, it's hard on them. You know, it's hard, and that's why you always try to tell them to get their eyes back for the ball. You know, when the receiver looks for the ball, to get your eyes back for the ball. If you keep facing the receiver, the official's going to throw that flag 1,000 times. But if you get your eyes back to the ball, you have just as much right to the ball that he does. So if they see both guys competing for the ball and he's looking for the ball, usually the official doesn't throw that flag. But if I keep my eyes on him, okay, and my back is to the ball and we make contact, they're going to throw that 1,000 out of 1,000 times.
Back to Patrick Jones, is the playbook still something he's trying to get a grasp on there? Because I think I remember in the preseason you'd mentioned him kind of trying to catch up on
Yeah,
that
no,
stuff.
he's good with that part of it. You know, he's good at what he's supposed to do. It's just, you know, continue to master the technique of how we play the run, how we rush the passer. It's the same progression that all young guys go through. They all do. You know, I mean, it's like I was telling him the other day. It took Griff didn't start here for 5 years. You know, he's a pretty good player now, isn't he? He didn't start here for 5 years. You know, it took D to the middle of the season of his 2nd year. He's a pretty good player now, right? You know what I mean? So I get it. He was drafted in the 3rd round, and everybody wants to see him now, you know. But you got to put him out there when he can go help this team win. You know, every week is important for us. You know, every week is important for us to win the game. And you got to put the guys out there that can give you the best opportunity to win, while you keep developing those guys that you know are going to be good players down the road. And that's what we're doing.
Speaking of Weatherly, did you have much of a chance to talk to him, you know, before or after he was traded, and how did that go? Obviously, you have a good relationship with him.
I haven't talked to him. I wait for him. You know, NFL rules, once he was on another team, doesn't allow me to reach out to him. You know, so if he reaches out to me, I'd love to talk to him. So I still like Steven a lot. We've done a lot together, so I just wait for him to reach out to me.
In scouting yourselves in the bye week, what have you liked about what, as a unit, you know, coaches and players and everything, that the defense has been able to accomplish, and where else you can go?
Well, I think we've improved every week, and that's what you want to see. You know, obviously there's still some areas that we can get better, and you know, we're going to keep working in those areas. But you know, we're really good in 3rd down defense. You know, we're 1st in sacks. We're like 2nd or 3rd in pressure rate. Our scoring defense have come way down from the beginning of the season, and you know, so it's just got to keep going. Just got to keep working. So there was a lot of positives, and there were some negatives that we got to continue to work to improve on. You know, usually we're great in red zone defense. You know, so it's surprising for us now. We're not letting very many people get down there. That's a good thing. But once they're getting down there, we're letting them score at too high of a rate. So we got to get back to who we are as far as red zone defense goes. But I think it was good for us as coaches to see, not, you know, as coach, you always sometimes just looking at the bad things, you know, but to look at what we're doing well and what we've improved on so far was good for us to see as coaches. But it was also good for the players to hear that, but also hear the things that we got to continue to improve and get better at.